everyone, today I wanted to talk about the books I read in February, which was these two. And this is the first book that I finished this month. This is actually a reread for me. I must have read this book maybe about 2 years ago, and then my daughter was interested, and it's taken us a really long time to get around to reading it together. And then we must have been reading this for maybe 6 months, and that's because it's quite long. It's over 400 pages long, and also I don't read to her every night. My husband and I alternate, and she generally only has a couple of pages at a time. She also doesn't necessarily always ask for the same book, so we're just reading a couple of pages here and there, and it's just taken such a long time. But anyway, I only include books that I read to her if they are not picture books and if only I read it to her. So if I'm sharing it with my husband or something, then I don't include it. But this one I read out loud to her for months. Anyway, this is Part of Your World, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell. And the Twisted Tale series are about what if in a particular Disney film, there's several of them, the happy ending hadn't have worked out. So this one is about the Little Mermaid, and it's what if Ursula had married Eric and Ariel had been banished back to the sea and King Triton hadn't have been sort of rescued and turned back into a merman, and what would happen? So in this book, you've got Ursula married to Eric, and she's still disguised as Vanessa. You've got Ariel as Queen of the Sea. She's got huge regrets over everything that happened. She feels really guilty, and she wants to find out what's happened to King Triton, if he's even still alive. And basically the story follows Ursula plotting and Ariel trying to make everything right again. And it's good fun. I really like when you take a well-known story and put a twist on it. So it's enjoyable, and my daughter really enjoyed it. But on the other hand, I do think it's quite long-winded. As I said, it has got a lot of pages for a book that may be read by younger readers. I mean, I enjoyed it as an adult reader, but it definitely also can be read by younger readers. And yeah, it's very long, and there's a lot of sections that are about things like trade deals or interactions between, you know, Ursula and various representatives from other kingdoms. And it's just quite wordy and with a lot of politics that I think is really hard for a younger reader. And even personally, I found those bits a bit kind of dull. So it's a fun idea, but I think it is just a little bit wordy. If you really like The Little Mermaid, as I do, it's definitely a fun read. But yeah, as I say, just for me, a little bit too long, and there were some sections that could have been, I don't know, maybe more fun. Anyway, so that was the first book that I finished, but as I say, I've read that one before. And then I read American Dirt by Jeanine Cummins. Now this is my book club read for the month, and so we picked this as something that we'd all seen going around. And American Dirt is about a lady called Lydia who has a son called Luca. And right at the start of the book, Lydia and Luca's whole family are killed in a massacre from a group of drug dealers, like a cartel in Mexico. And so Lydia then is frightened for hers and her son's lives, and they flee and start to make their way to the United States of America. And the whole book follows their journey. So basically the first chapter is the massacre, and it's really harrowing. And then it follows her journey as she tries to escape this particular gang, and specifically the leader of the gang. And they make their way on this huge I think it's like 1,600 mile journey or something. Parts of it by riding on the roofs of trains, parts of it by walking for miles. There's loads of like danger, and just, it's really, it's one of those that's upsetting, but is also beautiful in a way, because the way that it depicts the relationships between Lydia and Luca, and also the other people that they meet. So in particular, they meet these two sisters. You know, awful things happen to them, and it is really, really upsetting, and, you know, unimaginable stuff. But at the same time, it's beautifully written, and just all those relationships and the good things that people do in it. Yeah, it also has a beauty to it. I really, really enjoyed this. It's not a subject I've read about before, and it's definitely something that I'm glad that I read something about to kind of give me more awareness of the situation. I mean, I was aware of it, but I think when you read a book, you really get into, you know, how it might feel to be in that situation. And yeah, really thought-provoking, sad. I have read some criticisms of this book, that it is not written by a Latin author. And I mean, honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. I think that the depiction is very well researched and just beautiful. So to me, I don't think that detracted from it, but I can understand how you know, having a Latin author writing about the things that are going on in Mexico and other similar countries, how, you know, that is also important. But yeah, aside from that, I think it was just dramatic and heartbreaking, and I really, really enjoyed it. So if you've read either of these very, very different books, I would love to know what you thought. Please, as always, leave me some recommendations. If you've read anything lately that you've really enjoyed, that you think that I would like too. I do love mermaid books. I do like books set in other countries. So yeah, let me know your recommendations. I hope you've been reading some brilliant books lately. Don't forget to hit like if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Take care.